So welcome everyone, and today we're going to talk about, I forgot what we're going to talk about, open chords, that's right. So we're going to go over the 5 open chords. Open means that you don't have to bar the guitar to make the sound. It means that you can just play them using some of the strings left open. Okay? So there's 5 open chords. E, A, D, G, and C. And that's what we're going to go over today. I'll show you the finger positions, how to play them. We're just going to use a simple downstroke in case you're not familiar with anything else. We'll go over strumming in another video. And let's get started. So first chord, an E chord. What we're going to do is just bring the first finger onto the 3rd string, 1st fret, okay, right here. Second finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And the 3rd finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. So how you're going to do that is you put the fingers kind of right next to each other, but above one another. Okay, leave yourself some space. You want to make sure this 3rd finger is behind the 2nd fret, this metal bar here, so that it doesn't buzz. If you put it right on the fret, it might buzz. And then play down like that. So what you want to do is play down. Every string is going to sound. You're going to pick one at a time. This can be tedious, but it's necessary to have really nice, clean sound later on. You want to build the foundational skills, prioritize the foundational things. And I want every note to sound beautifully like that. Okay, so if you hear some notes sound like this, something like that, or like that, buzzing, right? No good. Okay. Go back, see what's happening with your fingers. You remember the fingers have to be between the frets. If it's touching the fret, if it's on the fret, it'll be buzzing. So nice and clean, go down every one at a time, press harder. Okay? It might be a lot harder than you think you have to press, but press harder. Beautiful. So keep going until you get a sound like that, and do this with every one of these chords. This could be a simple whole practice in itself. Go through each one of these 5 chords, strumming till it gets clean, one note at a time. Don't just strum the chord and not notice. Put it on each note. Once it's clean, then you can strum the chord. Okay, so E is our first chord. That's E. It's called E because the bass note is E. I'm not going to go into notes of the chord, and I'll tell you why briefly. I learned music when I was younger, and then I moved to tablature, then I moved to ear learning the songs by ear. I think ear learning is much better. That's what I've gravitated towards. And if you're going to do something where you're reading music, yes, sure, you can learn music. And tabs are a very simple way to learn if you want to do that. You can also watch people and study that way. Watch people playing, figure out what they're doing, and do that yourself. That you can do that. There's so many live videos of people playing on YouTube. And another thing is you can listen to the songs. That's very useful for solos, hearing one note at a time. So at first, I would suggest just using tablature, right? As you get familiar with the chords, the notes, then maybe start trying to figure it out yourself, watching some people play songs on YouTube, looking at their hands, watching what they're doing, figure it out. Your ear will get used to it this way. I find it's much better to have a good ear, right? If you could hear something and be like, oh, that's an A minor, or that's an A chord, right? That's much more useful in the long run. Also, if you plan on singing, you want to start getting your ear right as soon as possible. So always be on key, right? So E is the first chord. The second chord is A. So some people play A with 3 fingers, right? I prefer to do it with 1. It can be a little tougher. I'll show you both ways. So the first way, you could have your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. The 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And the 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the third string. So everything's on the second fret. The bottom string is open, and the top two strings are open. I prefer not to play it this way. It's up to you. Find what feels good for yourself. I feel it's many unnecessary fingers. You can just use the one finger. So what you're using is just the space. You can see the lines on my finger there, see? So you're just using the space from this first knuckle to the tip. And you're kind of put a little diagonally just to cover these 1, 2, 3 strings, the fourth, third, and second string on the second fret. That's all. See? Simple. Okay. Now the thing that's tough about this is that it's very hard to isolate the first knuckle of the finger for most people. So this bottom string doesn't sound, and it sounds like this. It buzzes, or it doesn't sound at all. Okay? Which, no problem. It still sounds like an A chord. It still sounds good. So find what works for you. But I'd encourage you to make that bottom note sound, or at least be able to do it when you need to do it. Right? The more options we have, the better. So it's going to be open E, open A, second fret on the fourth string, second fret, third string, second fret, second string, and open 1. And then again, what are we doing? We're going through each note and sound nice. Okay? If you hear again, like this, that kind of stuff, buzzing, come back, go through 1, 2 at a time, until it sounds nice. Okay? And that's A. So to review, E and A. Then D. A is called A because bass string A. Oh, one thing about the A, excuse me. The A is normally played with the top string muted, right? So just the fifth, fourth, because the fifth string is the A, so the bass note will be A. You can play it with the E, and it sounds nice still. There's still a different sound to it, okay? Okay, it doesn't sound out of key or anything. So D string. The fourth string is the D string. That remains open, so this is a D chord. Okay? Now, something that you might find challenging about the D chord is that you're not playing these top two strings, okay? So it's just the bottom 4 strings. We'll begin second finger, second fret, first string, third fret, third finger, second string. First finger, second fret, third string. And that's it. So, and again, just like the A chord, if you hit the A string, the 5th string, it's not going to sound horrible. Okay? Yes, it is just the bottom four notes, but if you hit the 5th string too, accidentally, it's not going to sound terrible. So don't worry about it too much, okay? Later on, you'll get into muting and stuff. So how I mute these two, I don't want you to go crazy about this now because it's a little more advanced. But I bring my thumb over the top, see? And I touch the E string and it's muted. I touch the A string and it's muted. I just touch it, I don't press on it. See? So they don't sound, and I can strum however I want, and it still sounds like a D. Okay? So again, same thing. We're going to go down those chords very slowly. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just like that. Once you get them clean, then you can strum it. If you hear any buzzing again, like this kind of stuff, go back, one at a time. And then go down. Awesome. So D, adding to our chord list, we have E, A, D, and then G. So there are many forms of the G chord. People have different little variations they like to do. I'm going to show you the full variation. This looks like a daunting finger position compared to the last 3, right? So starting from the bottom string, I'm going to put the pinky on the 3rd fret the first string. We're going to put the third finger, third fret, second string. Then we jump all the way up to the fifth string, your first finger on the second fret of the fifth string, and your second finger on the third fret of the sixth string. And then we're going to go down. So these middle two strings, the fourth and third string, remain open. Okay? So make sure you're not hanging down, being sloppy with the fingers, and that they touch the third and fourth strings. Okay? Bend your knuckles. Bring your wrist under, bend your knuckles. Beautiful. And one at a time. So play one at a time, nice and clean. And then, so again, you can strum if you hear any of that buzzing, that dirtier stuff like this. That kind of stuff. No, come back one at a time. Beautiful. And that's G. So reviewing E, A, D, G, and almost forgot the last one there for a minute, C. So, C chord. For the C chord, the E note, to my knowledge, is in the C chord. So you can leave the top string open. It's cool. Just like the other chords, it's not going to make a big difference if you leave it open. Okay? But I mute it with my thumb. I just touch my thumb to the top and it mutes it. Okay? So you can experiment with that if you like. Otherwise, no big deal. We're going to start at the bottom. The E string, the first string stays open. The second string, first finger, first fret. The third string is also open. The fourth string, second fret, second finger. The fifth fret, fifth string, third fret, third finger. And that's it. And then go down. Beautiful. So one at a time again. And see, I like muting the E string because then when you hit it, it doesn't matter. It still sounds like a beautiful chord. And then go back, right? So if you strum the chord and you hear this kind of stuff, buzzy stuff, no. Go back slowly, one at a time until it's clean. And then reviewing E, A, D, G, and C. Okay. So that's it for today. What I recommend is just keep going over these. Remember, foundation is first, the most important thing. Right? Take your time, be patient, and you'll be a great guitar player when you're done. This is the most important thing, foundational skills. Go through each chord, play very, very clean. Don't try to be cheap with the practice. Do it. Put in the time, put in the work, the effort, and you'll be great. Okay? So practice is go through E, A, D, G, and C. Play them until they're clean, then strum them a few times. If you hear any buzzing, go back. Each note, be tedious. Keep doing that until your fingers are strong, chords are solid, sound beautiful, and by the time you're done that, you'll also have some pretty beautiful little dents in your fingers, and you'll probably build some calluses. So have fun practicing, and I'll see you next time.